Hi and welcome back. My name is Emily and I'm so excited to share these two projects with you, featuring a new stamp set from Miss Ink, and the new release will be available this weekend. And if you haven't seen the other videos that the design team have created, make sure that you are stopping by and looking at them after you watched this video. You can also pop on over to our Instagram account and get even more inspiration. And this is the Pumpkin Spice Gnomes, and I think it's so cute, this stamp set. And I have inked up a couple of the stamps from this set, and I will copy color them in for you here on screen. And I will show the combinations that I used for today's video. If you haven't seen any of my other videos, I have to mention that I am no expert at coloring at all. I'm just putting down the colors, making sure that I like how the image look, and don't worry too much about the shadows or where the light source is and stuff like that. So I'm just trying to enjoy my coloring as much as possible. And these images was such a treat to color. And they were pretty large, which means that you have a lot of room to practice your Copic coloring or whatever medium that you decide to create with these stamps. And after I had done the first section, that is a tip for you if you are coloring. I like to do one color at a time and make sure that I am coloring in every image that I want to have colored that particular combination with, and then I'm moving on to the next combination. And that is just my process when I'm coloring, and I think it goes pretty fast when you do it like that. And also it's easy if you are doing these in a couple of days in a row, because this took me, I think, 2 days to color. I don't have that much time to spend coloring every day, so I'm just doing some at a time. And that is also a tip, that because then you are dividing your work into smaller sections and it doesn't seem that much when you're doing it. And I really like, or actually I am very much enjoying to color with my Copic markers. But as I said previously, you could use whatever medium that you are attractive to, and I'm just glad that these images was so large that I could get some practice with my alcohol markers. So I just think they look so cute, and I tried another color combination. Here's a black one, and of course, as I said, all the combinations are listed up here in the left corner. So after I didn't leave every part of the coloring in, because I don't think that is helping anyone, but I used, I left the parts that were, I left all the color combinations in, so if you want to watch them, you can. So I cut them out with my brother's scanning cut, and then I will create a focal point on my background here. So I decided to use a circle stencil that I have in my stash. This one is from Trinity Stamps, but you can use whatever you have. You can also just cut a circle out if you don't have any stencils. And if you don't have that either, you could also trace a round object and then cut it out like a mask with some copy paper or whatever thinner paper you have. And I'm using distress inks and a blending brush. This one is also from Trinity Stamps. And I'm using a combination of antique linen, cracked pistachio, and I believe that is peacock feather. And that is just a nice combination that I have been using a lot of times. That is something I always come back to when I doing a focal point like this. So I wanted to spice this up, and I used a couple of glitter products in my background, and here I was so close to messing up. You can see that I dragged the blue and green glitter that I have already used my spatula tool on top of, and I accidentally dragged it into the yellow area, so I was so close to mixing these colors and making a total mess of everything, but I stopped it in the right time. So after letting this dry, I just cut out a panel here with some stitching around it, and then I will pop this up with some foam tape. And you can see my background isn't perfect with the texture there, but I just wanted to get some shimmer and some dimension to my focal point, so it wasn't meant to be perfect. And I know that I would cover up a lot of that area with these cute stamps that we colored out. And I went with another sentiment from a new stamp set as well, and you will see close-ups of that in the upcoming days. So I also created a second project with the images that I had left. So for this one I decided to ink or freehandedly ink blend a fall background. So I wanted this to look like a forest or something like that, with all the leaves turning in different colors in the background. So I used some distress inks, you can see them on screen here, and I'm just going around dabbing the color on. So this takes no practice, this is something everybody can do. If I can do it, you can do it. And then I went over it with a green shade as well, just to fill in all the white space. Then I let that dry, and I will come back and fill in the image once more. And then I will also create some tree trunks in the background here. And unfortunately my camera stopped recording at this point. You will see in a second here that I didn't get the whole thing on camera, but I will show you a close-up of how it looks. And this image will also end up being, a lot of it will be covered. So you can see, I think it looks somewhat like a abstract forest, and I hope you get the idea that this is in the middle of the woods. So then I will just ink it up, or sorry, not ink it up, I will use some adhesive on the back side and then press it down, letting that dry, and then I will go on top of this with my stamped and colored images. And then I will use also a combination of foam adhesive to the back side, and as well as liquid glue, just to create depth and dimension on my project. And that is a tip if you are struggling with getting interest in your cards. Try to just get some dimension in it, because that could sometimes be the trick of getting that perfect perfect environment for your stamps, or what to call it. So I decided against using all the cute images that I had colored in. The sentiment is from the same stamp set as I used for the previous card, and I will have links down below for that one. And I just popped that up also to create some more depth and dimension. And I will go in with my white gel pen here in a second. I'm sorry that I'm moving everything around. I thought I was going to use some leaves that I had also colored in, but I decided against it. And now we're here and we will use some white gel pen, and that is also a trick to create some more interest to your pieces. Otherwise it could look a little bit flat, but when you're using a white gel pen, everything pops. And those mushrooms had the white dots on it. I colored over them, and then I just went back in with a white gel pen to make them come back again. And you can see I'm using the same white gel pen here on the first card that we created. As well as the coloring, I'm no expert at knowing exactly where the light source is. I'm just making sure that I like how it looks, and I think it turns out okay in the end. I used some black bubbles, and that was pretty much it. I will leave you with some close-up of my projects here today, and make sure that you are checking out the full release when it's available this weekend, and make sure that you are stopping back to this channel soon again for more inspiration. Until next time, have a great day. Bye!